Yesterday, we started learning all about ecosystems. Today, when we turn our page, we're going to learn more about that in lesson 1. Yesterday, we didn't get a chance to look at this picture here. What do you notice about this picture? What different parts of an ecosystem do you see here? Well, you might notice the trees, right? Those are living. You might notice the water, that's non-living. The rocks, those are non-living. We've got all sorts of different things that interact to create that ecosystem. This coastal redwood tree shares its environment with other plants and animals. Dune grass has tough roots. They help the plant survive in strong wind, bright sunlight, and shifting sand. Now, in our notes, we're picking up next with a blank is all the living things of the same kind. All right? Groups within ecosystems. Coyotes roam through the brush, called chaparral, on the coastal hillsides in Southern California. All the living things of the same kind that live in the same place at the same time are a population. A group of coyotes make up a population. So population is all living things of the same kind. So all coyotes would be a population. Coyotes hunt California ground squirrels. The ground squirrels eat plants and live in the burrows in the chaparral. All the populations that live together in the same place make up a community. So all those populations, all the different types of squirrels and the coyotes and everything else, that would be the community. All the populations in a community depend on each other. You can see this coyote, right? He's hunting those ground squirrels. Now, all these different coyotes would be that population. Ecosystems change. Ecosystems change over time. The change starts when one part of the ecosystem changes. This change causes other parts of the ecosystem to change. For example, in one winter, the chaparral might get more rain than usual. Plants grow more. Ground squirrels now have more food than usual. This may cause the population of ground squirrels to grow. The rise in the number of ground squirrels affects the coyotes. The population of coyotes can grow because coyotes find plenty of food. If a winter has less rain than usual, plants provide less food. Less food supports fewer ground squirrels. As a result, the population of coyotes remains small or decreases. Here you can see a picture. It says fires move quickly through chaparral. This provides space, water, and sunlight for new plants to grow. Now let's look at this picture in our notes. Label the picture. We need to find which one's a population, which one's a community, which one's an ecosystem, and which one's an individual. Well, if we look here, this one, what's this? This is just one animal. It's not being an individual. Now, all the groups of that same kind of animal are called the population. Now, next we've got a bunch of different type of animals. All those different populations put together are a community. And then the ecosystem starts including all the non-living things as well. So ecosystem would go there. All right? Excellent. Number 10, what are some ways an ecosystem can change? Well, if there's more rain, it might change. If there's less rain, it might change. And if there's something like a fire, it might change. Right? So you've got all these different factors that go into that environment. I'm going to put this aside and we're going to get going on our worksheet for today. Notice I just tucked my notes right back in my book so they stay safe and I can keep track of them. It says reviewing terms, matching. Match each description with the correct word. Write the letter on the line next to that description. Everything that surrounds a living thing. Well, that would be its environment, right? Where it lives. The living and non-living parts that interact. Well, when we talk about them interacting, well, now we're moving into talking about an ecosystem. Right? Because it's ecosystem, then we're talking about them interacting and how they work together. 3, all of the living things of the same kind. Same kind, so one group of coyotes. Is that a population or a community? And then number 4, all of the populations that live in the same place. Is that a population or a community? Moving down to the bottom. True or false? Ecosystems are made up of only living parts. False. Talk about the non-living parts that an animal or plant depends on also. Like you talk about the redwood tree, right? It needs that sunlight and it needs the water. Those are both non-living things, but they're part of the ecosystem. Number 6, living parts of ecosystems depend on one another. Yes. Number 7, a change in habitat does not affect the living things in that habitat. A change in habitat does not affect the living things. So if there's less rain, it's not going to affect the coyotes. If there's more rain, it's not going to affect the coyotes. And number 8, if the plants in an ecosystem die, the animals in the ecosystem will not have enough food. True or false? Number 9 at the bottom, you can go ahead and cross out. We're not going to do that one today. When you're done with it, please put it back in your Wednesday folder. Double check that you got your name on the top. And make sure you check it off of your weekly checklist.